Imagine this. You spend your entire life trying to fit in, striving for approval, shaping yourself according to expectations that are not even your own. You seek validation, you fear judgment, and you hold on to the idea that your worth is measured by how others perceive you. But what if everything you have been taught about caring too much is actually holding you back? What if the key to true happiness, confidence, and success is not in controlling everything, but in letting go? This idea is a guide to inner freedom, self-acceptance, and the art of living without unnecessary burdens. It challenges the very foundations of what we as women believe about identity, success, and the pressures of society. And by the end of this journey, you will understand why the moment you stop caring about external validation, everything in your life starts falling into place. Think about it. How much of your stress and frustration comes from trying to meet expectations that do not even belong to you? How often do you hold yourself back because you are afraid of being judged? How much of your energy is spent on worrying about things that in the grand scheme of life have little meaning? Here is a simple yet powerful truth. The more we let go of external pressures, the more we align with our authentic selves. Life is unpredictable. Perfection is an illusion, and self-acceptance is the highest form of wisdom. But here is where most women get it wrong. Not caring does not mean being indifferent, lazy, or unmotivated. It does not mean withdrawing from life or ignoring responsibilities. It means freeing yourself from the constant need for approval, the fear of rejection, and the exhausting habit of overanalyzing every action. It means living on your own terms, being present in the moment, and understanding that you do not have to prove anything to anyone. When you reflect on the nature of human behavior, you observe that women are often prisoners of their own minds, caught in endless cycles of worry, self-doubt, and insecurity. Why do we allow the opinions of others to shape our decisions? Why do we cling to control when life is inherently uncertain? Why do we chase an idea of success that is not even our own? And most importantly, what would happen if we simply stopped caring about these things? When you stop caring about being perfect, you begin to embrace your flaws. When you stop caring about external validation, you start living for yourself. When you stop trying to control everything, you make space for life to unfold naturally. And here is the paradox. The less you care about proving yourself, the more powerful you become. Think about the most confident, charismatic women you have ever met. Are they the ones constantly seeking approval, over-explaining themselves, and trying to be liked by everyone? Or are they the ones who seem at ease, unbothered by small worries, and unapologetically themselves? Here is the secret that modern psychology has now confirmed. People are drawn to authenticity. When you stop seeking validation, when you embrace your imperfections and trust yourself, you naturally become more attractive. Not just socially, but in every aspect of life. The moment you detach from the fear of failure or judgment, you gain something even more valuable: freedom. The freedom to take risks without overthinking. The freedom to express yourself without hesitation. The freedom to simply exist without constantly measuring your worth by external standards. But here is where it gets truly fascinating. Once you let go of unnecessary worries, not only do you find peace, but things in your life actually start to improve. Relationships become more genuine. Opportunities come naturally. Decisions become easier because they are based on what you truly want, not what you think you should want. This is the essence of true wisdom. Most of our suffering comes from resisting reality, from trying to force life into a mold that does not fit. But when you release that resistance, everything begins to align. Think about this. How many times have you hesitated to speak your mind because you were afraid of what others would think? How often do you replay conversations in your head, worrying about how you were perceived? How much of your life has been shaped by expectations that were never truly yours. I invite you to step away from these self-imposed limitations. I challenge you to embrace uncertainty, to accept imperfection, and to stop allowing fear to dictate your choices. And this is just the beginning. Because as we dive deeper, we will uncover practical ways to apply this mindset to your life. Ways that will help you break free from mental barriers, make decisions with confidence, and truly experience the freedom that comes from letting go. This is not just an abstract idea. It is a practical guide to transforming the way you experience life. And now we take a step further. What happens when you truly embrace this mindset? What changes when you stop chasing approval, worrying about every possible outcome, and allowing fear to dictate your actions? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that most of the pressures weighing you down were never real to begin with, that the rules you have been following, the expectations you have been trying to meet, and the fears that have kept you stuck were all illusions created by society, conditioning, and your own mind. As women, we are naturally anxious. We are constantly overthinking, trying to predict the future, and struggling against the unknown. But what if the key to happiness is not in solving every problem, but in surrendering to the fact that some things are simply out of our control? One of the most powerful lessons is this: the world will never fully understand you, and that is perfectly okay. Think about it. How often do we waste energy trying to explain ourselves, justify our choices, or prove our worth to people who may never truly see us? We hold back our true opinions to avoid conflict. We suppress our real desires to fit in. We constantly look outside of ourselves for validation, when in reality, the only approval that truly matters is our own. Much of our suffering comes from caring too much about things that do not serve us. Women often tie themselves in knots over petty concerns, holding on to grudges, fears, and insecurities that ultimately add no value to their lives. And yet, when you step back, you realize that most of these worries are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop obsessing over a problem, a solution naturally appears? Or that when you stop chasing someone's attention, they suddenly become more interested? This is no coincidence. It is a reflection of a deeper truth. When you let go, life flows. The problem is most women resist this idea. They believe that if they stop caring, they will lose motivation. That letting go means giving up. But this is a misunderstanding. Not caring does not mean apathy. It does not mean laziness. It means shifting your focus to what truly matters and freeing yourself from the weight of unnecessary burdens. I encourage you to embrace imperfection, not just in yourself, but in the world around you. Striving for absolute control is an exhausting, never-ending battle. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we try to plan, prepare, or manipulate outcomes, there will always be things beyond our reach. So why not surrender to this truth? Why not accept that mistakes, failures, and uncertainties are simply part of existence? Consider how much lighter you would feel if you stopped trying to control every detail of your life. If you stopped overanalyzing every decision. If you stopped fearing failure and instead saw it as just another step in your journey. Every great woman in history has faced failure, rejection, and misunderstanding. Yet they did not allow these things to define them. They moved forward, unbothered by the opinions of the crowd, because they understood that true success is not found in external validation. It is found in living authentically. And here is where it gets even more interesting. When you adopt this mindset, people begin to notice. You become more confident, more magnetic, and more in control of your own life. Not because you are forcing anything to happen, but because you are no longer wasting energy on things that do not serve you. Have you ever wondered why some women seem effortlessly successful, while others struggle despite working tirelessly? The difference is not always in talent, intelligence, or even hard work. It is in mindset. Those who thrive understand that detachment from unnecessary worries allows them to focus on what truly matters. The more we release, the more we gain. When we stop fearing failure, we take more risks. When we stop seeking approval, we become more authentic. When we stop trying to control everything, we allow space for unexpected opportunities to arise. This is why the philosophy of not caring, when applied correctly, is not about giving up, but about gaining freedom. It is about choosing where to direct your energy, focusing only on what brings meaning, and refusing to be held back by distractions that add no real value to your life. Think about your own life for a moment. How much of your stress comes from worrying about what others think? How many times have you hesitated to pursue something you truly wanted because you were afraid of judgment? How often do you replay past mistakes in your mind as if punishing yourself will somehow change them? This approach liberates us from these mental chains. It reminds us that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the only thing we truly own is the present moment. And when you fully embrace this truth, everything begins to shift. But there is still more to uncover, because now we will explore a surprising insight: how detachment, rather than leading to isolation, actually creates deeper and more meaningful connections with others. There is a strange paradox in life. The moment you stop needing something, it often comes to you effortlessly. When you stop chasing approval, people respect you more. When you stop fearing failure, opportunities arise. And when you stop trying to control everything, life begins to flow in ways you never expected. This is one of the most profound lessons. Detachment is not a form of escape. It is a path to deeper fulfillment. By letting go of the need to force outcomes, you open yourself to the natural rhythm of life. And in doing so, you begin to experience something truly remarkable: a sense of peace, power, and connection. But here is the question: if detachment is so powerful, why do most women struggle to embrace it? The answer is simple: because we have been conditioned to believe that control equals security. We have been taught that if we try hard enough, plan carefully enough, and worry intensely enough, we can shape the world to our liking. But here is the truth: this is an illusion. No amount of control can eliminate uncertainty. No amount of planning can prevent the unexpected. And no amount of worrying can change reality. Instead of resisting life, I invite you to embrace it exactly as it is. With all its unpredictability, imperfection, and chaos. Think about your relationships. How many conflicts arise because of unmet expectations? How much suffering is caused by the desire to make people act a certain way? How often do we try to control the opinions, actions, and emotions of others only to end up frustrated, disappointed, or hurt? True connection is not about control. It is about acceptance. The more you allow others to be themselves without trying to change them or force them into your expectations, the deeper and more genuine your relationships become. This is why women who practice detachment often experience greater love, respect, and admiration. They do not suffocate others with demands or expectations. They do not need constant reassurance. They simply exist in a state of calm confidence, allowing others to come and go freely. And ironically, this makes them more attractive, more respected, and more valued. Have you ever noticed that the women who are the most desperate for attention often receive the least of it, and that those who are at peace with themselves naturally draw others in? This is the power of letting go. The way we relate to others is a direct reflection of the way we relate to ourselves. If we are constantly seeking validation, it means we have not fully accepted ourselves. If we fear being alone, it means we have not yet become comfortable in our own company. If we need others to act a certain way to feel secure, it means we have not cultivated our own inner stability. But the moment you shift your focus inward, when you stop trying to control people, when you stop fearing loneliness, When you stop measuring your worth by external standards, you become truly free. Think about it. How much of your emotional energy is spent reacting to the words and actions of others? How often do you let someone else's opinion ruin your day? How many times have you held on to resentment, anger, or disappointment only to realize later that it served no purpose? Peace comes from within, not from the approval of others. And once you understand this, your entire approach to life changes. Imagine walking through the world unshaken by criticism. Imagine facing uncertainty without fear. Imagine being able to love and appreciate people without feeling the need to control them. This is what happens when you stop caring about the things that do not truly matter. And here is the most important part. Letting go does not mean withdrawing from life. It does not mean becoming indifferent or emotionless. It means engaging with the world fully, but without attachment, without unnecessary worry, and without the need to force outcomes. This is about balance. It is about caring deeply about the things that truly matter, your values, your purpose, your inner peace, while releasing the things that drain your energy and serve no real purpose. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What expectations, fears, or attachments are weighing you down? And what would happen if you simply let them go? As we move into the final part of this journey, we will uncover the ultimate realization. Why embracing uncertainty, imperfection, and detachment does not just lead to inner peace, but also to a life of deeper meaning, success, and fulfillment. At this point, you might be wondering, if letting go is so powerful, why do not more women embrace it? Why do so many remain trapped in the endless cycle of anxiety, approval seeking, and control? The answer is fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of failure. Fear of what might happen if we stop micromanaging every aspect of our lives. Society has conditioned us to believe that if we loosen our grip, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, when you stop caring about the things that do not truly matter, everything falls into place. This is not about recklessness. It is about wisdom. By letting go of unnecessary worries, we gain clarity. By releasing control, we gain freedom. And by embracing uncertainty, we gain a life of deeper meaning and fulfillment. Think about the greatest moments of your life. The moments that truly mattered. Were they planned down to the last detail? Or did they happen spontaneously when you least expected them? Some of the most beautiful things in life cannot be forced. Love, inspiration, creativity, and even success, they often come when you stop chasing them. When you create space for them to appear naturally. Consider the woman artist who no longer worries about whether her work will be accepted by the world, and as a result creates something truly extraordinary. The woman entrepreneur who stops fearing failure, takes bold risks, and ends up changing an entire industry. The woman who stops searching desperately for love, and in that space of self-acceptance meets the right person effortlessly. This is the paradox of life. What you hold on to too tightly often slips away. But what you release often comes back to you in greater ways than you imagined. Life is not meant to be a struggle. Yes, there will be challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties. But fighting against them, resisting them, and obsessing over them only adds to our suffering. Instead, I encourage you to flow with life, to accept its imperfections, to laugh at its absurdities, and to find joy even in the chaos. Because here is the ultimate realization. You do not need to control everything to be happy. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to fear uncertainty, because life itself is uncertain, and that is what makes it beautiful. When you stop caring about external validation, you become truly confident. When you stop fearing failure, you become unstoppable. When you stop trying to control every little detail, you allow space for magic to happen. And that is what the wisest women throughout history have always understood. Wisdom is not in trying to conquer life, but in learning to dance with it. So as you move forward, ask yourself, what can you let go of today? What unnecessary weight have you been carrying that no longer serves you? And what would your life look like if you simply trusted that things will fall into place? Because the moment you stop caring about the wrong things, the right things find their way to you. And that is the true power of letting go. Thanks for watching.